I saw a message on my man's phone with someone thanking him for helping to pay their rent last month. What? What's your pop and Chatty Chit Chatters? We are back with another episode of the Chatty Chit Chats podcast with your girl, Chatty. And today we got some more questions and I'm excited to get into them. So what we're gonna do is get right into them. Okay? And I'm looking at my computer so that, because I didn't have any printer ink to print out the questions. So we gotta look right at the computer today. So the first question is, I'm 29 years old and I don't wanna get married or have kids. How do I tell my parents who pressure me about this daily? So what I wanna say about this is, first of all, I'm so sorry that you're going through this. I know that there's a lot of parents who put this kind of pressure on their kids, that they expect them to have children, they expect them to have a certain type of job, they expect them to get married. And what I would say is you have to start advocating for yourself. You have to stand up and let your parents know that it's your life. At the end of the day, you cannot just jump and get married to somebody because your parents want that for you. You cannot have kids just because your parents want you to have kids. You are going to be the one that's going to be in this marriage, and you're going to also be the one that's raising these kids. So I think it's important to make sure that you're doing the things that you want for yourself, because that's what's going to lead to happiness. Now, your parents, depending on, because I know that a lot of Caribbean, a lot of African parents do this, even Indian parents, Asian parents, where they have these expectations for their kids. A lot of these parents are not thinking about your mental health and your well-being overall. I think a lot of it is to be able to brag about it, to be able to talk about it, and to feel a sense of, that they did a good job as a parent, because they value those things as being success. They value those things as being successful. And it's what you can do is sit your parents down and have the conversation and let them know that for you, your mental health is really important, and you have to put yourself first. You cannot put them before yourself when it comes to like what you want. You need to make sure that they know how you really feel. And I think the quicker, the sooner that you do this, the better. I think that I would hope that you haven't told them that this is something you're gonna do, knowing in your heart that it's something that you don't want. And I think to the parents, I know that you as a 29-year-old wrote this in, but I do want to speak to the parents out there really quick. And I want to say, be careful with this thing of putting these expectations on your children for what you want them to be, how you want them to live their lives. Be careful with that. Of course, we want all of our children to be happy and to have certain things that maybe we didn't have in our lives. But I think it's really important to make sure you're listening to your children. It's not fair. It's not fair for a person to make these big decisions in their life based off of, their parents wanting that. So I would say have that conversation with them. Have that conversation with them. And I think like if you have parents that you're really scared of because of whatever, situation, I think that it's important to make sure that you have somebody to do mediation, like maybe have a friend with you or have a family member that you trust that you can have sit there with you to kind of back you up. Because I know that a lot of these parents can be really hard, and it's kind of hard to get through to them because, again, they think about what they want more than what their children want. My advice to you is definitely tell them, and just be honest. You just tell them, like, this is something that I've known for a very long time that I don't want. And I know that if I do that, I'm going to be unhappy, and I don't think it's good for my mental health or for anyone for me to not be happy. That's what I would say to that. And I want to hear from you guys in the comments. If you guys have a different answer, which I always welcome, please let me know in the comments below. If you disagree with anything that I say, I would love to hear from you guys below. Let's talk about it. I'm a 32-year-old man who hasn't had much experience with women sexually. I'm a bit insecure about my performance in that area. I want to meet women and start a family, but I'm not as confident about it. Help. Okay, so what I have to say to you, sir, is start getting some experience. Okay, so the only way that you can get to it is if you start doing it. So the way that you will start building confidence around it also is if you start doing it. So start meeting people, like start asking women on dates and start, practicing. I think that the more that you practice, the more you'll feel confident. And I don't know what's making you not feel, well, I guess You said you're insecure about your performance in that area because you haven't had much experience. Start getting experience. And I think that if you fake it, you'll make it. You know what I'm saying? So when you are getting sexual with a woman, don't present as an insecure person. Be confident. Fake it. Fake that you have so much confidence and that you know that your performance is great. And you will start to see, the results, first of all, because that woman is either going to be really happy or she's going to let you know. Like, you'll be able to tell by her body, or you'll be able to know because she's telling you, or just in yourself, you'll see that, like, I'm really doing this. Especially if you want a family. You're 32 years old, and I know they say women have a biological clock, but I think we all do. And I think it's important for you to start really getting out there, start dating, stop being so shy, and start getting more confident, and just do it. That's the only way that you'll get to that family and you'll get to having those kids. So good luck, boo. Good luck. The next question is, I saw a message on my man's phone with someone thanking him for helping to pay their rent last month. What? Hold on, she ain't finished. She says, I felt like he was cheating, but I wasn't sure, and now I feel like this is proof. What do I do? We live together. Girl, he's cheating. What? Hold on, you already thought, hold on. You guys live together, so whatever money he's spending in a bigger place out there, he should be telling you. That should be number one. Number two, you already felt like he was cheating. I wonder why. I wish you wrote me more. I wish you gave me more context. But the fact that he paid someone's rent and you were not aware of that is a big deal. That's a huge red flag. Whether he's cheating or not, because at the end of the day, him paying someone's rent doesn't necessarily mean he's cheating. However, I don't put nothing past no man, okay? So I would not say that this is something that's just innocent. I feel like you should ask about it, because you said you feel like this is proof. What should you do? You didn't say that you spoke to him about it. I think the first thing is to communicate and bring up your, I hope you screenshot and have it on your phone too, to say, what's this message about? I think the ways that you'll find out if he's cheating, if he's not just admitting it, is number one, if he deletes it. Number two, if he says you're talking shit because he didn't give nobody no rent money. And number three, if he's just not, showing you any sympathy or empathy or just like caring or considering why you would be mad about this. And girl, you need to write me back. Why do you feel like he was cheating already? I need to know, outside of this proof that you think you have, because at the end of the day, again, I'm putting myself in your shoes. I would be pissed the hell off, because whose rent are you paying and I didn't know about it? Yeah, that's a really, really big deal. The fact that you guys live together is another big deal, because at the end of the day, you guys are either splitting the bills or you guys have bills together, and money is important. So again, I would need to know more as far as like you guys' financial state, because that would be another issue for me, is like, if we can barely pay our rent, but you out here paying somebody else right now, where you getting money from? Like, so many questions would come up. So I think that you need to communicate, ask questions, save that proof, make sure you have a copy of the proof. And maybe, the phone number is there. Who was the phone number from? Was there a name? Like, girl, you did not write me enough. This should have been a paragraph. You wrote me 2 sentences. This should have been a paragraph. I need to know more. I need to know more. And I'm sorry, girl, because this would piss me the fuck off. Like, I would be pissed off. Like, you're paying somebody else's rent. What's the situation? Because at the end of the day, let's play devil's advocate. Let's just say maybe he was paying the rent of a family member that he was just helping out, and they're going to pay him back. Maybe he was, I don't know. There's a lot of maybes. And again, you just need to talk, communicate, or you need to keep digging for more information to find out what's really going on. Okay? I need y'all help on this one. Comment down below if you think, what do you think it is? Like, I don't know. I'm stuck. I slept with a guy that I really like on our first date. Now I'm worried he won't take me serious. What should I do? He slept with you too. I think that men who consider, who like to call girls names or feel like they're not marriage material, or that they are just loose, or whatever the hell y'all like to say, those are immature people, okay? Because at the end of the day, you dipped up in that coochie. So you clearly, you were okay with it. You were okay with it. If you thought she was fast and all that extra stuff, why did you dip yourself into it? You don't have worth for yourself as a man? Because men love to always make women feel like they're dirty, or they're not doing the right thing because they chose to sleep with you on the first night. First of all, First of all, if a woman chooses to sleep with you on the first night, it should be a compliment, because it should mean that you made her feel comfortable enough to want to spread her legs for you. Number two, you need to be looking at yourself in the mirror. Like, you slept with her too on the first night. Why do you guys put yourself on a different level than women when it comes to sex, when you're the one dipping inside of her too? Like, you are there too. Third of all, if you guys are calculating, you know, the fact that you slept with this woman on the first night as her not being a good woman, you're probably losing out on a lot of good women. And one thing is that men that like to make women feel as if, or you know what, I think, okay, let me tell you guys what I think the real problem is here. I think the real problem is that men who sleep with the girl on the first night, they want to go tell their homeboys. You want to tell your homeboy, because if you slept with her that night, you felt good enough too. Why are you judging her now? There's too much judgment going on. There's too much of that, and it's not fair. And I think that if you are worried he's not going to take you serious, you are insecure within yourself. Like, you feel like you did something wrong, which is not okay. You didn't do anything wrong by sleeping with someone on the first night. The problem that I think is, well, number one, make sure that you're protected, because at the end of the day, sleeping with someone on the first date who you just met and you don't really know, you need to make sure you're protecting yourself. That's number one. Number two, shut the fuck up. Stop telling everybody that you slept with somebody on the first night. That's not nobody's business except you and that person. Because a lot of times when y'all tell the next those people, those friends, whoever, and they judge you, you start feeling insecure within yourself. Or for the man, they start feeling insecure about you. So if you're worried that he's not going to take you serious, he probably ain't going to take you serious, because that's your mindset. That's probably what's going to come to fruition. Okay? What do? Nothing. You need to start learning your worth and stop worrying about a man who you just slept with on the first night. Okay? If he don't want you, oh well. There are going to be 20 million other men out there in the world waiting for another woman like you. So just relax. That's number one. Relax. Number two, number five, number 10. Relax. It's quite all right. And the main thing you need to know is that you haven't done anything wrong, right? You are a grown adult who made the decision to have consensual sex with another adult. If they don't want to like you because of that, then deuces, peace, goodbye. Like, they don't deserve you. And that's that. You guys, one thing I'm going to tell you is I'm going to always give you guys the most realist advice that I would give to my sisters, my daughter, my mother, my friends. When it comes to me, I give out tough love. And this is one of those situations, because I'm just thinking at this point, you need to learn your worth. You need to know that you are worth it all, okay? As a woman, you are the prize. So if he don't want you, he's not supposed to have you. He's not meant for you, okay? And that's just that. So you worried he ain't gonna take you serious. Bye. Like, he needs to keep going. You need to keep going. So, and do a little better on yourself when it comes to judging yourself, because this is given that you're judging yourself. Or did he make a comment? Like, you didn't tell me anything else, so all I can do is assume that it's within you, that you feel like you did something wrong. So yeah, that's that on that question. My partner of 3 months has become financially unstable. She lost her job and she's struggling to find another one. How long should I accept this? I'm paying for everything now. When you get into a relationship with somebody and you decide to be committed, you need to know that these are the kind of things that could happen, right? So when you choose to be committed to somebody, you choose to be committed through the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it, right? If you know she's struggling to find another job, meaning she's trying to find another job, what do you mean, how long should you accept this? You think that everybody you're going to be with is just going to have a job all the time and nothing can ever happen? It sounds like you may not be ready for a relationship, because this question and the way you wrote it is disrespectful. The person that you're with is trying. You said she's struggling to find another one, meaning that she is attempting and it's not working out. That's not her fault, right? Jobs are not something that you can guarantee that you're going to always have. That's just how life works. Like, we're not always guaranteed to have this job that we have today. I think there needs to be a little bit more compassion, a little bit more empathy and understanding for your partner. If it was you, would you want her to be saying something like this about you? Would you want her to be saying, oh, how long should I accept this? Like, she's purposely doing something wrong. She's not purposely not looking for a job. Like, you haven't said any of that. You basically said, you're mad that you're paying for everything now. It sounds like you should just want to be single and never want to have a partner, because at the end of the day, things happen. What if she was in the hospital and she couldn't work? Would you be writing me and saying, because that's it, what's the difference? The person is looking for a job. Your partner is looking for a job. I think that you need to be a little bit more understanding about that and maybe help her. How about that? Since it's stressing you out so much, like, help her. It's a partnership. It's two of you guys. When one falls, the other is supposed to help to pick up for as long as they have to. Like, I understand that it's stressful, because trust me, when it comes to money issues, those are the biggest issues that usually break up relationships, okay, outside of cheating. I think that in this situation, you have to look within yourself, because you're wrong. Unless you've left something out of the situation, you said your partner of 3 months. First of all, I just remembered that part. Y'all only been together for 3 months. 3 months. Do you really like her? Are you really committed? Are you really in love? Is this a real relationship? If it is, then you need to stick through it and be loyal to your partner and stay committed to helping her and you guys figuring it out together, versus putting a time limit on it, because at the end of the day, she is trying. As far as you said, she's struggling to find another one, which I'm assuming means that she is trying and it's not working out. Maybe help her look at her resume. Maybe find somebody who can help you guys figure out the resume if you can't do it. But I just think that there needs to be a little bit more understanding on her part or his part, whatever it is you said, your partner. So on your partner's part. I understand that it's stressful. I think that you guys need to have a conversation, okay? But at the end of the day, what can somebody do? She will eventually get a job if she's actually trying. She will. And then what then? You would have lost out on somebody that you really saw potential in because they had a little bad time. They had a hard moment. Relationships are not always going to be sunny, happy, everybody got money. Sometimes it's going to be that you're helping your partner because they don't have it. And that's okay. I wish y'all the best, and I hope that you change your mindset a little bit and maybe put some energy into helping her on your time off, helping her find a job. Now, if maybe I read this wrong and maybe she's not trying, if she isn't trying, it's only been 3 months. Deuces, like, excuse me? If it's only been 3 months and this person is just sitting at home, not doing anything, meanwhile you're at work and she was working before, or he or she was working before, and you're not seeing any effort, that's a completely different story. That's a completely different answer. So, yeah, I might be looking for a part 2 on your question, okay? Y'all get down in the comments below. And we're going to do one more question before we're done with this episode. I want children. He doesn't. And he says he's not changing his mind. What to do? We've been together for a year and I don't want to sacrifice what I want. I think you know the answer, and I think that's why you wrote the question like that. This is a really big situation. This is probably not going to work out. If you want, like, these are big life decisions, and if you are with somebody who's not compatibly, like, you guys are not compatibly. If you guys are not compatible about, you know, the more bigger things and things that you see for yourself in your future together, it's probably not going to work out. You guys are right now at this moment not compatible. No matter how much everything else might be great, that situation is going to break you guys up. You're not willing to sacrifice what you want, and he said he's not changing his mind, which means he's not sacrificing what he wants either. How are you guys supposed to move forward with that? And I think that the best thing for you to do is have another conversation about this seriously. And then you guys have to let each other know at the end of the day, if you're not willing to budge or I'm not willing to budge, I'm not going to force you to do something I want, and I don't want you to force me to do something I don't want. Because having kids is a big deal. So if he doesn't want kids and you want kids and then you end up pregnant, there's going to be a lot of resentment, a lot of anger, a lot of pain, because at the end of the day, these kids aren't going nowhere. And now you put him in a situation where he has to take care of kids that he never wanted in the first place. For me, it's been a year. I would consider that an experience that you guys had together that's over now. I would say that this relationship would have to end. That's the biggest thing. I think that certain things can end a relationship and should end a relationship. You guys have different religions and you're not willing to, you know, figure out which religion should be prioritized when it comes to the kids or things like that. There's certain things that just should not be considered something to sacrifice or change for somebody else. That's a really big deal. Now, if you don't have kids and you choose to, okay, I'm not going to have no kids, you're going to be miserable because that's something that you really want and you're not willing to sacrifice. So this is probably going to be a really big conversation, probably a life-changing conversation at this point where you guys are probably going to have to go your separate ways. And that's the only thing I could think of, because I don't think it's fair for either of you guys to sacrifice on something so big. So, and that's something that, you know, a partnership would have to deal with. So yeah, that's, I don't know. I think that's the best that I can give you on that question. And I'm sorry, because that's really tough. But I think that this question brings me to say that I think that when you're first starting to date somebody, make sure that you guys are having these serious conversations in the first month. I think the earlier the better, because the quicker that you can cut things off if it's not for you. Some people are waiting way too long to have the more serious conversations, and then you're so deep in love that you're either willing to sacrifice or you're so hurt that it has to end. So I think communication about the important things, not just what's your favorite position and all this sexual stuff that we love talking about in the beginning. We need to be talking about real life, especially if this is somebody that you really value and you think that they could really add to your life and become a life partner for you. Have these serious conversations about religion, finances, and children, marriage. What does a marriage look like to you? All these kind of questions. We should be having these conversations, especially as older people, like in our late 20s, in our 30s, 40s, 50s. We should be having these kind of conversations as soon as we get into a relationship, especially if you're taking it seriously. If you're just dating and having fun, then do your thing. But if you're serious, you want to be committed, you want to have a marriage, you want to have a family, these are the kind of conversations that you need to have as soon as possible. As soon as possible. On your dating profiles, you should be having, I want children. At the end of the day, the people who are scared by certain things are not meant for you. Just know that. Because some people are afraid to put certain things on their profiles. I remember having a question that I've answered in one of my episodes that said, when do I tell this guy that I have mental health issues? Now, immediately. First of all, it's not fair to somebody for you to hold back on things that are so important to you or things that could affect them. It's not fair because you're letting somebody fall in love with an idea that's not even true. So I think it's really important to make sure that you guys are sharing exactly what you want. And make sure you're having these conversations really early and you'll get all of this out the way. Now, if you guys are having this conversation and then all of a sudden somebody changes their mind, that's a different story. That's going to be tough to deal with, but it is a different story because at the end of the day, people can change their minds. So, but I say have the conversations to be safe, and that's all I have to say about that. Good luck to all of you for all these questions. I really appreciate that you sent the questions in to me. Again, you guys comment down below for all of you viewers. Make sure you guys are commenting your opinions, your advice on all of the questions, and also what you thought about how I answered them down below. And make sure you guys follow the Instagram page and go and listen on Apple Podcasts, guys. Whenever you guys can't watch on YouTube, go listen on Apple Podcasts. And until the next episode, deuces, peace, bye.